Well, hello there, and thank you so kindly for tuning into my channel today, Brown Eyes, on this beautiful, beautiful, amazing day today. Because so as a man thinketh in his heart, then so is he. We are to think upon things that bring a good report. Well, today is an amazing, beautiful, sun-filled day today, and I was just thinking, of course, as I always do. Like I said, I created this channel for spiritual growth and things that I think about that will enhance me spiritually in order for me to give out better spiritually in order for me to receive. Because it's just like that. It's just like, when they say what you sow, you reap, or be mindful how you treat other people because karma is a bitch. What goes around comes around. You have to have something substantial and something full of spiritual nourishment, if you will, in order to constantly sow into yourself so that you can send out good karma, so that you can receive good karma. It's amazing how it works. If we actually could see everything, how everything is really being played spiritually instead of through this physicalness, then I think we would really choose our words as if our lives actually depend on it, because our lives actually do depend on the very words that we speak. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's real talk. Out of your mouth flows the issues of life. So you have to be mindful what you share with other people and what you allow out, because you can work on yourself. But if you constantly speaking negative, you want your situation to get better, but you're constantly speaking negative about your own situation, then it has to give you back what you have been speaking. That's like in the Bible of old Job. And I reference the Bible a lot because I know that that's what we're used to. That's what we've been taught. And at the same time, the Bible is kind of contradictory, full of so many mystery things that have you just run around like a dog chasing his tail. However, there are a lot of cute things in the Bible that you can use today. I'm not saying that the whole Bible is irrelevant, but I know that it's been tremendously tampered with, which will give you the wrong understanding. But like the saying says to us, chew the meat and spit out the bones. That is how I view the Bible, because there are a lot of crucial elements in the Bible that are very good to sustain you, even in this physical form, so that your spiritual man can be built. So we ought to take the good and leave the bad, pretty much. But like I said, I'm on a spiritual learning journey, to grow spiritually higher in consciousness, to be the best honey I can totally be, so that I can always give out good. And it is a work in art, a work in process, rather, and it really is an art form too. Constantly trying to do the right thing in such uh, a prison system, if you will, because not only if is this world that we live in really is a spiritual prison, but in this flesh is a prison as well, because we are at our first estates, we are spiritual beings. But to give you an example, because I was pondering this, how strong the mind really is. Whatever you program your mind to be and to think, your physicalness, your body will follow it. Have you ever pondered and thought about something in such a long time that it actually manifested, whether it be good or bad? I have tried it, I have put it to the test, and it has never failed me, regardless to what it is that I put out there. Even in thinking on this thing, such with such fierceness and such spiritual passion, if you will, that is the thing that manifested. It may have not been what I wanted deep down inside, but that's what I always thought about. That's what I gave the fuel to grow. That's what I nurtured. That's what I constantly plowed and nurtured and loved to life, regardless if it was good or bad for me. And I think that we all have that thing. I think we all have that in common, really to no fault of our own, because we're just like babies here trying to figure out a way to handle it all. And we're trying to handle it all on a physical thing, even though our spiritual man is the one that's really in trouble and being attacked. But just an example of how powerful and amazing the mind really is I read somewhere, and I also heard somewhere, that we're such a dynamic make of a species, if you will, being that we are the human people, but we have such a high capacity to really think so farther and so far beyond what we have been taught. And I think that they said that we have at 100%, we're only using maybe even 10 or 10, maybe perhaps 20% of the total 100% capabilities that we all have the ability to conquer, if you will. So that's really astounding if you look at it, because even at 10 to 20%, look at all the amazing things that are accomplished within this earth off of that. And we think we smart, we think we got it all down pat, we think we got it together, yet we're still really dumb. If you look at the overall picture, we don't have anything together. We're just constantly babies, just taking baby steps, because it's so much to take in, it's so much to get to know, it's so much to study, it's so much to relearn. So you will miss it. It is a cycle. Think about all the time and years we have invested in misinformation. I mean, we can quote the Bible, we can um, speak in tongues, we can shout, we can tithe, we can offer, we can volunteer, we can pick up trash on the side of the road, but who is the God you're really serving, and who are you really on the inside? And is it worth it? Do you feel at peace when you lay down at night? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of show we put on outside. When we lay down within ourselves and have to lay down with ourselves, that is the one that's really going to agitate us and deal with us, because your conscience will tap you on the shoulder and remind you of the day's events or something that you need to make changes on, if you're constantly feeding your spiritual man. But you know how powerful the mind is. Just like the scripture says, you think upon things that bring a good report, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now imagine thinking upon things that bring a good report. Imagine thinking upon something all day long. I'm talking about all day long. This was embedded in your thinking because it was on you. That's what you desired. And then you went to bed that night and you had a dream about it. Have you ever had such an experience? I mean, like, for instance, a wet dream. Okay, now, it's not physically happening to you, but mentally it is happening to you. Because have you ever realized that when you go to sleep and you have a dream, the dream feels so real. The dream feels so real to when you wake up. You're waking up feels like you're asleep. You know what I'm saying? The dream feels real, but the wide awake feels like it's asleep. It's so many times that I have dreamed as a child. I can remember having dreams as a child, and dreaming that I've had money in my hand, and it felt so freaking real. I'm talking about I dream, because it seemed like the key points of dreams will happen either right before you're about to fall asleep or right before you're about to awake. I don't know why, but I guess it's you really at that strongest uh point in your other side, if you will. But I remember so many times about to fall asleep or about to wake up, and I would dream. I don't know the whole dream, but it always would be with money, and I would have money in my hand and in my dream. And even it seemed like my mind in my dream was relating to my body that this was real because it felt real. Now, it felt so real that I'm talking about tightly in my hand till I woke up, and it still felt like it was in my hand. Like that little few seconds right before you're about to wake up, and it's like you know how you hear the alarm clock going off, and you dreaming a fabulous dream, and it's like you're trying to hold on to the dream, but this alarm clock is trying to pull you away from it. That little window right there is the time when when it just seems like that is the real essence of who we really are and our capabilities in this spiritual walk. Because I would, soon as I would feel this money in my hand, and in just a second right before I opened my eyes, I could feel that money. But as soon as I opened my eyes and realized that there was a difference between me sleeping and me opening my eyes, the money was not there. And it still felt like I had the freaking money in my hand, even with my eyes wide open, looking at this hand. It wasn't there, but it was there in the dream. So many times now we've had wet dreams, and I'm not ashamed to say that this is something that happened to my body. I haven't had anybody molesting me like they say, the concubines or the succubus or the male and the female sexual predators in the spiritual realm, if you will. I don't recall having that, but what I do recall is waking up hunching, and it felt so real. I mean, I can't tell you who the guy was. It could have been a boyfriend, it could have been a lover, it could have been someone, it could have been no one that I knew, but it was a guy, and we were having sex, we were making love, and my body was responding to it. But when I woke up, no one was there, and what woke me up was me climaxing, kind of getting off, man. And I woke up like totally embarrassed and freaking out. Like, what the hell? What was that all about? And I couldn't control that. And it's just like men, when men have wet dreams, they have the evidence because they be messy and wet. But you know what I'm saying? Their body responded to something. It's like the physical responded to the spiritual. And you see how powerful the spiritual is because the body couldn't deny that reaction of the spiritual. It had no choice but to follow that because whatever you was going on spiritually, you know it was spiritually because it was a dream, or was it? But you know it had to be spiritual because it was a dream because it engaged you into a point where you actually interacted with it, where you relieved yourself. And this is all based on a dream. I guess that's why they call it a wet dream, but it's got to be more to that because your spiritual man is active, because they say that when you're asleep you're really awake, and while we are awake we're actually asleep. So it's something really powerful about this thing in our mind, the spiritual man, the brain, uh the leader of the body, if you will. Because if we could just master the ability to get our thoughts and to line up our thoughts with what we desire, then it wouldn't be a sad person on this earth. But I guess it's not for everybody. Everybody's not going to be on that journey. So I guess of course, it's got to be an individual thing. But isn't it amazing that we can actually think upon things to bring a good report? I mean, seriously, you can think upon something so bad and so bad and so bad and give it all that negative energy of bad, 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 and that's exactly what will happen is bad. It's like Job in the Bible now. He said, the very thing that I feared the most has come upon me. So that means if it's something that he feared the most, that means he was constantly thinking about this thing, this negative thing over and over. And he feared it till it had him hostage. He had no other choice but to fear this thing because he didn't know how to do away with it. So in return, it came alive and manifested it, and it hey, it happened just like he feared it would be. So I don't want my life to be like that. I don't want to think about negative things and constantly receive negative results from it, because I have the choice. You have the choice to think upon things that bring a good report. It's not about pleasing anyone else. It's not about keeping up with anyone else. It's about getting your own house in order. And I'm not only talking about the physical house, I'm talking about this body that houses your spiritual man, which is your real house. This is the only reason why we're in this old decrepit thing right here, is to house the real essence of who we really are. So it is crucial to think about things that bring good report. In fact, I challenge you to maybe one day, if it's something that you really desire, or even for a little thing, I would try just a little thing. I would always document it. I would get me a notebook and a pen, and I would document it. Something that you really desire to manifest, and to manifest easily. And this will also build your faith. It will build your faith, which means you being in agreement with what you are pursuing and asking for. Once you line that up with what your desires are, then it has no choice but to manifest. See, the good thing about the universe is it's not prejudiced like we can be. Sometimes we can give to you based on what you have given me, and do to you based on what you've done to me. But the universe is going to give you exactly what you put out. Now, I mean, well, even as people, we do unto others that we like they do unto us. But a lot of times, some of us can do to you differently than how you have done us, but not the universe. So that, I'm kind of correcting that, but not the universe. The universe is like it's set. I mean, it's such an amazing thing because it is an amazing thing. It is the thing that keeps you lined up with it. In other words, you are completely lined up with yourself once you line up with the universe, because it gives you what you give it. So if you're constantly giving out, and it could be to your brother, your sister, to a smallest thing like an ant, and I'm working on that, because I'm telling you something. Now I can see a big old cockroach, and I'll be like, oh, is this a test? Because I'm going to kill you. I don't have the heart, please forgive me. I don't have a heart to get a jar and a lid to capture this cockroach or this water bug and to set it free outdoors. I just rather stomp on it so that I don't have to worry about it flying all over the place, because they have wings. It's pretty gross, okay? So, but I'm not good at that. But at the same time, that is a part of the universe. It's the same thing as some type of insect or wild animal that you're afraid of. That is also still a part of the universe, and we are all connected. We have just been taught that we're more superior than every other life form around here, even though we don't even know what's all really out here. We barely even know what's around us, let alone around this whole universe. So we're all so connected if we just get in tune with our ancient teachings, our ancient realities, and our ancient establishments. Even has to do with your thinking and your teachings, your living, your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Those things were already set for us. We've just lost it along the way, and no one seems to be looking for it because they call it with the things of this world. And the things of this world teach you to be materialistic. Forget about the spiritual man. It's all about now. Get what you want now. Get it now. It doesn't matter what your spiritual man is, because you know what? You can come back and do it over. But who wants to do that once you understand the truth about it? But I don't want to ramble. I wanted to share this because I think it's crucial to our spiritual learning, is to constantly think upon things that bring a good report. It is powerful. Your mind is absolutely powerful. You are absolutely powerful and truly amazing. If you only would think that, you ought to think upon things that bring a good report. You ought to think that you are lovely. You are to think that you are amazing. It has nothing to do with arrogance. It has to do with self affirmations to constantly build you up so that you can give out to other people good things. You know what I'm saying? We're to pay it forward. We're not to just sit on goodness. We're to share it, because someone may be able to relate to you based on what they're going through as well. So yeah, we're all connected. Whether we feel like some of us are higher or lower, we're still all connected. It is still appointed unto every man to die. So I mean, in that respect, no one really has an added advantage over anyone else except the amount of money that he makes. But we all know that perishes, because it is. So having said all those things, I thank you so much, so much. I'm going to just end this video, but I thank you so much for tuning in to Ground Eyes today on this beautiful, amazing, terrific, wonderful day today. Remember, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thank you so much. Please leave me a comment, perhaps subscribe and like this video, and I will talk to you another time. Bye.